Are now live. I am unsober.
Aw, Tipsy Sal. I love it.
Sweet. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, this is going to be for the books.
Tipsy isn't the word.
Ooh. We're going to step above.
Hello, everyone.
That's how to start a show right there.
I did the show notes understanding that I would meet a friend for drinks. I didn't understand that we were going to meet for as many drinks as we did. But I believe we'll be fine because most of the talking will be from Euro. And are we calling you Yuromaru or Euro?
Just Euro's fine.
Okay.
He prefers the incredibly formal Yuromaru-chan. Sal, don't give me that I don't watch anime look. I know. You grew up where they make anime.
I spent most of my adult life in Asia, and I understood your joke.
I'm a bit of a weeb.
You're right. The overlay does have their names switched, and I think it's because they joined the call in the wrong order. I can't believe they've done this.
Do you want me to leave call and come back?
No, super easy to fix. I just grab names and flip them.
Woot.
Okay, so the person who pointed that out is the person whose responsibility it is for me not being sober.
Well.
Oh.
I will call Thist, I assume it is, and yell at her for that.
Thist say something?
Yeah, I just assumed.
Skabet. I now live in Williamsburg, which is the most something neighborhood in America. Relevant. We're so relevant here. All the art is coming from Williamsburg and Brooklyn. All my paycheck is going to bars in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So, Barf, I'm really happy to see you. You're wearing a Convert to Raid sweatshirt, hoodie.
You can tell it's mine because of the
Is that a hole?
the way I punch the mic. No, it's a bleach stain because I once wore this to my job at the pool store because it was a cold day, and I spilled chlorine on it. That's how you can tell.
That's what I would do.
High quality.
Euro has suspenders. Bam.
Just in case he goes out drinking tonight.
No, I'm going in drinking.
Are you? Tell me how that works.
A little bit like that.
Oh, I've heard that quirk before. Frasley is here, everyone.
Oh, we missed him last week.
Okay. So Frasley wasn't here last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Last show. And he messaged me on Twitter apologizing for not being here.
I got that same message. Frasley, you're such a sweetheart.
Isn't he so sweet? It's like, why do you feel like you need to explain? Winchester, Habant, oh my gosh. Oh, look at all our friends coming into the channel. Here's what I need. I need someone to go in game and encourage people to come into their guild's podcast. Oh, Kara. What I love best about Kara is that she is Zandara, but we all call her Kara.
That's what happens when your mage and your human are named the same thing.
Okay, Frasley is going to bring people in. Thank you, Silver. I have new decor. We will discuss this.
I'm hoping I actually hosted this the right way. I've never
That's
hosted
something to
anything
check.
before.
You've never hosted.
No, I just figured out that was a thing.
You have to do it from your own
Yep.
channel, but yeah,
I
you did
I
it
am
well.
successfully hosting it.
I probably ought to do it too.
Sweet.
Silverbolt correctly points out there's no freaky Coney Island dude. That's true. There isn't. I did just
Sorry.
pour myself another beer.
That was my mom.
Hi, Mom.
She called to tell me she loaded movies for Miles on Vudu. And then she's like, oh, yeah, you have a podcast. Yeah, I do.
Winchester is here.
Everybody's here.
Okay. Euro, do you have any questions?
Not really. You just kind of explained we go over lore because it's the interesting part, and we do a little bit of quick and dirty on the strategeries, which we did a pretty good dry run on Gronk before. Me and Barf handled that pretty well. So I'll just kind of maybe go a little bit more in depth than I did on that Gronk fight that one time.
I mean, you say me. I didn't know what we were doing on our way in there. I'd never seen the fight before.
You were there.
I was there. I was physically present to slay the Gronk.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think when the Horde fight him, he's alive. I think they kill him. And then he was, before the Horde dealt with him, he was a friendly man who was there to help. And then they turned him, you know what? We should save this. This is good content.
This is,
It is.
Content.
This is good.
I am looking at our viewer count. It isn't where it needs to be, but Frasley, I'm looking to you to let us know that you've already told people. Free beer. Oh, are you headed to
Silver drink
Silver's
for free?
hotel room
I'm going
for
there.
beer?
Some hotels have that. It's pretty snazzy.
Told Guild. Cool. Okay. They'll show up or they won't. Let's see. Converted podcast. I'll tweet it. Eshelon, I believe, is around because I've heard from him several times today. Eshelon, you should know that there's lots. There's more than usual of shout outs to be gotten.
And reports to have been raided, probably.
Well, that's actually a problem.
The nerds have been slaying.
I'm
Why?
around. Yeah, okay, so Eshelon, there's shout outs that were tweeted to us, so you'll want that. But the not everyone understands how to put their teams into the thing that will report the raid stuff.
It's also broken on the website side too.
That's mostly the thing.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I don't know how to address that.
Well,
Talk to Ash.
what I'm saying is, Ash let me know today that we're not going to be able to have a totally complete raid report because of that. There's something wrong.
Okay.
we can.
So,
I have things. We can figure something out.
well, maybe for next time, but for
Yes.
today, that's what's going on. Kara, here's the deal. Kara says, so teams need to update info manually. I learned like 6 years ago, that won't happen. Excuse me. That can't happen. That won't happen. People won't do it.
Something that requires human input.
Yeah. Uh, the best thing that ever happened to our raid report was the thing that required zero human
Effort.
input.
Yep.
Right. Well, if they care, you're correct, Kara. Here's the deal about that. Okay, Eshelon has something to say. Oh.
Yo, Frasley, thank you for reminding that. I should definitely talk about that on the show. Good call.
Casey, you should do that at the top.
What's that?
The thing that Frasley said.
At the tippy top?
I mean, when I say, so what about you, Barf?
Yeah,
Like
that's when I was going to do it.
Okay.
Yo, Draven, what's up, man?
Oh, I just had something crash.
It just occurred to me that I'm probably not going to be around Friday, Draven. Should have thought of that. I had Saturday planned, completely spaced on Friday. Probably not going to be there. Yo, Nav, what's up, man?
I just got a message from Eshelon that was a copy and paste of what Nav had said, and it was completely inappropriate to say to anyone ever. So
talk about it on the air.
Eshelon asked for permission to say that on the air, and I said no, cannot say
Eshelon,
that.
send me what you were gonna
There
say.
are too many curse words.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Send it to me. I like curse words.
It's a reason we call it colorful vocabulary.
Oh, it's colorful.
It's too cold outside. There's no colors left. They've been leached out of life.
No.
The weather map is just purple all across the country.
Well,
I
there
get
is
the feeling like everybody here is over the age where snow was fun and interesting, and now we're at the age where we're like, my bones ache, and I don't want to exist outside right now.
I had to
Because
shovel.
So old, Euro.
Y'all guys should live within walking distance of your parents' house who own a snowblower. That was my trick. That's what I got
I do
going on
have a
in my
snowblower.
life.
It still sucks.
But then they make you blow their driveway off, right?
Yeah, if I'm the first person awake, which I'm never. My father's a truck driver,
Passing
which
the
means he
buck.
wakes up at like 4 o'clock in the morning all on his own. I'm ready to roll whenever you guys are.
Okay, I'm doing something.
Game face on.
Game face, bro. Game face. I was talking about that movie at work today, and that evolved into a conversation about Quidditch. And somebody said, yeah, Quidditch is such a wimpy sport. And I was like, there are 2 players on each team whose job it is to kill everyone with baseball bats. That is not a wimpy sport.
That's like...
Okay.
It's like double a cricket match and have the 2 people with the bats run at each other and try to smack each other with a bat.
All
How
games,
many
too.
matches?
It's not even like they only come out sometimes. They're always there.
Turarts.
She
Richard
thought she was
Pryor
on
and
Push to
George
Talk.
Carlin.
That's silly, Billy.
Turarts, I'm very happy that you were not on Push to Talk last week because it was way better.
Good.
Okay, Navox is messaging me as well.
Galv, it looks like you either need to play
Okay.
Fury Warrior or Enhancement Shaman, my man.
Galv apparently got a new weapon though for his hunter, so
Ooh.
he's kind of a big deal.
Man, I was chasing down some fools this week. Oh boy, you guys ever turn war mode on? Oh,
You did the against insurmountable odds or something like that.
I did it twice.
Man, there's a ton of QQ over that right now. The horde and people that play the horde side are like, Alliance unfair advantage. Ugh. It's like, well, no, the quest is to offset the unfair advantage of there being like 5 times as many people on the horde using war mode right now. That's 100% the reason.
I don't know, man. I think the turtles are on our side because it seems like every time I go near the turtles, I get that quest done.
Okay, Navox and Eshelon, I need you to figure out what you're gonna say. Okay, that's just
Talk
between
amongst
me
yourselves.
and y'all. Okay, Frasley, I don't know what you're talking about, but if it has to do with whatever Esh and Navox are talking about, you need to get with them because Eshelon is going to come on later on the show. If it has nothing to do with that, then I don't know what you're talking about. So I think let's start the show. And Navox, I love you. Eshelon, I love you. I don't know what to say. There's drama that I can't speak to. Okay. Apparently Eshelon and Navox aren't loving each other as best as they should. That's not even the case at all. They're talking to each other and they're friends. Frasley is not part of Esh and Nav's thing. Okay. Then I don't know what you want to message me about, Frasley. But I love you too. And cool. What during the show? I'm just doing the show. Frasley is a gnome. Okay.
That's true.
Let's just do the show. And I just want everyone to know that I'm not
Sober.
sober or responding to drama. Here we go.
Okay. Oh, last thing I forgot to tell you. You're going to hear the intro. Don't talk during it because they're going to hear you. Okay? Let's do a show in 5. Oh, wait. Let me make a marker for this.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. In 5, 4, 3.
You're listening to the Converted Podcast, the podcast about the guild Convert to Raid on Airy Peak, US.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 143 of the Converted Podcast, the World of Warcraft podcast all about the Convert to Raid guild on Airy Peak, US. Today is January 28th, 2019. It's just about 6:25 Airy Peak local time. Thank you very much for joining us. Sal, what's going on this episode?
In this episode, we have Alliance got your converted shoutouts. Ash and Turarts are here with the guild haps, and your guildian mind, Yuromaru, updates us on the first 3 bosses of Dazar'alor.
What's everybody, buddy?
I am Barfolomew the Paladin. As Sal said, we have with us tonight your CTR guildie and mine as well, Yuromaru. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Happy to be here. First time doing a podcast in front of all these awesome people.
First time ever?
That's true. It's your first time.
First podcast ever. Yeah.
Oh,
we did it!
gosh.
We're going to get to that in just a
Yay!
second. Joining us, as always, is Turarts the Hunter. Turarts, how you been?
I am good. We had our CTR 6-year anniversary. We are in kindergarten, guys. It was a lot of fun, though. We had all kinds of events happening. Thank you guys so much. You don't understand how much your support and your donations make this event what it is. We'll get more into some of that as we get into the events. Outside of that, I started my first D&D campaign. So that is exciting. I can't go into too many details because Barf's on the campaign. I'll give stuff away.
I want to be invited.
I was there.
He does. You were there, but you don't know. You don't know a lot about my character, and I'm in this.
That's true.
I'm in this. I've been saucy and snappy so far, so it's been interesting. But now I started my first D&D campaign, so that's exciting. And I streamed last night, and I streamed the best game ever. It's called Majesty. It is a very old game, but it is amazing, and I had so much fun, and I had like the most viewers that I've had in a while. So like this old school game that's boring as heck to watch. Everyone's like, "Yeah, we're gonna watch this," but I love it. Oh my god! And I did it without cheating, and that's hard. It's really hard not to use cheat codes. But chat room, you know what time it is. Get us your shout outs. You can get them on Twitter, or you can get them in chat if you don't want to go to the Tweeter sphere. But get us them. It's been a while. I'm sure you have some.
Also here with us tonight is the person who seems like she's always in a new place. Sal Mises the Shaman. Sal, what's going on?
Hey, check out my new digs. I've got a bookshelf behind me. I'm clearly in a living room. You know, we need to like go over like how many places I've been, you know, within this podcast, like because we've always been a video podcast, always been a visual podcast, and Turarts is trying to like count on our hands. And today I'm in a different place, but you know what? I hope I stay here for a while. I really like. I'm in a living room, and it's my living room. It's my living room. Oh my gosh. The other thing I want to let people know about is that we need guests on this show. I would love to have people representing our different raid teams in CTR. Sure, we like raid leaders, but you don't have to be a raid leader to be on the show. We want people to represent the Convert to Raid Guild and talk about the new raid. That said, yo, dude, I got some 400 gear this week, and I am enjoying all the Horde, delicious Horde tiers, because I got gear and they didn't. Anyone else get like some 400 gear and the Horde didn't? Anyone else get this? Euro? Barf?
I don't know. The game might have thrown some little cheeky cookies at me over the course of the week.
Did you get this?
I didn't realize that this was not something the Horde had access to, which makes it all the sweeter. I've got mine on my shaman and on my freshly dinged warrior. And
congratulations.
It was a good time.
It's ours and you can't have it.
Yes.
We can get deeper into that in a second, but I have a very important question to ask Sal. What is going on with the blue? I'm seeing a painting behind you. It looks like a blue, smoky form holding a yellow sword. It looks like he's wearing a pink Speedo and has a skull for a head. How close am I?
Okay, really, really close. It's a drow elf. Think D&D. Okay, so she is blue, and she has very little clothes on, including a bikini, and holding a sword. And this painting was done by my roommate's a friend in college. My roommate is not here right now, hence me being in the living room, taking up all the space. But she goes, "Is it okay if I have this painting up of a blue elf wielding a sword?" And I said, "Yes."
Hi, have we met? My name is Summer.
This seems appropriate and solidifies our relationship even more. So we and also on this side of me, on my right side, I've got all my like D&D books, and I've got all my Warcraft books, and I even have the calendar that our friend Thule made a long time ago. And there's no way you can actually see this, but the picture that it is on, it is a picture of me and Catherine and Belschnickel and Nate at BlizzCon. So I'm really happy about that. It was. It was. Many drinks were shared. Many drinks were shared. But Barf, how have you been doing?
I've been doing great. Like I said, I just dinged 120 on a new warrior that I can't imagine. I don't even know why I leveled it in the first place. I'm having fun. I'm having a nice time. But like I always have these characters that I level and then do nothing with. I've had so many max level characters that like stayed at the freshly dinged position.
Right.
Nav says it's because warriors are cool, and then he says goosh. So I assume he meant gosh and just add extra O's in it. That's fine.
I don't know.
I'm going to say that from now on.
That's fine. He's fine. Did do that via war mode. The Horde have been incredibly polite, I've found. I said that, I think, in the previous show, that they weren't really harassing me. And then as soon as I got a couple of eye levels in me, which was super quick to happen, by the way, right around the 120, you ding, and you almost immediately have, like, 345 item level, something bonkers like that. And then I just started charging at folk. And I switched to another character, and I gotta finish this kill 25 hordes quest. Charge at more folk. Just keep making dead folk. It's great. You just hang out near where the turtle quests are and slay them. And you just slay and slay and slay. And then you go to the house, and the guy's like, we have another quest for you to slay, guys.
Slay.
Are you saying you didn't go to the Vol'dun pyramid flight point?
Yeah. Oh, I was there this afternoon.
That's.
Ooh. That's where I was today. And yesterday I was out in Nazmir, I guess. And there was this spot where people were oh no. I went there and I was getting my butt kicked. So I went over to Drustvar and I was hanging out near the Turtle Quest on the western shore in Drustvar, and man alive. Here's the deal though. If you guys haven't done this quest, this is a little PSA for everybody, public service announcement. If you haven't done that quest yet, your instinct is going to be, I'm going to check the group finder thing, and I'm going to join me a horde killing raid, and we're just going to 30 of us just going to pwn some faces, and that is fun. Do it for the fun.
You can't do it in a raid though.
Right, you cannot complete the quest. You can't get quest credit in a raid. So find the raid and hang out near them and pick from their leavings, and you'll have the quest completed in no time.
Don't be the lion, be the hyena.
See? Euro knows.
Okay. So I had this same quest, right? And when I discovered, my friend Skibet texted me and said, hey, do this quest. I went to our guild and I said, hey, guild, who wants to join me in this? And Winford was someone from the Salad Senate. We had 3 other folks. And I was definitely the least PvP kind of person that was there. But the 5 of us joined a group, and we went to Drustvar because there was also a quest to like do PvP stuff in Drustvar over the weekend. And we just camped an Azerite world quest. And we had it done in no time. And I might feel sorry for the Horde, except that I don't at all. We just kind of camped, like they would die, and if they would run back to their bodies, we would just get them again. We would just stand there. We're just waiting for them. And we killed we killed 25. I say so many, but we killed 25 Horde pretty quickly, and it wasn't even a contest. So I got that gear, yo. I got that gear. And
it's good to know that all it takes is giving some of the Alliance characters some 400 pieces of gear and not giving them to the Horde just to turn like 99% of Horde players into pillars of salt.
Oh, yeah.
So much salt. So much salt. Did y'all hear about the Horde team that switched over to Alliance just to get this gear?
Oh,
for the race to world first?
Which team did that?
Limit.
That's extreme.
Method did it too, which doesn't
surprise me. Method did it as well?
Oh
wow.
My gosh. I'm surprised Method did it.
That's what, $70?
Streaming.
That's a lot.
Is it $35 for a swap?
It's in that neighborhood. It might be a little less, but it's something like that.
Okay, but it's not per character. They also have to have their alts in, because they're like running all their alts through funnel the gear
I
to the
didn't even
people
think
that
of that.
it needs to go to. I cannot believe Method did that. Wow.
I believe it as competitive as those
Wow,
guys are. I
Method
believe it.
did it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's multiple ways to play the game. Like, it's unbelievable to us, but to them, it's just another day.
Well, Method,
Um,
the sponsors they have, it probably wasn't anything. $35.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the money. I'm just talking about the reputation stuff.
Yeah.
So
Presley
it
would like to
wasn't
know if
just-
there is no limit to the methods that raid guilds will try to acquire gear.
Oh, that was a pun.
I love it.
That's a pun from Frasley.
Give me some paper, because that one was terrible.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh, ouch.
That, like, 2 seconds of
ouch.
silence. Oof.
It took me a second. Listen, our chat room is lit right now. Oh my gosh. There's tons of people.
Dr. Pope was in here earlier.
Dr. Pope,
Dr.
he and
Pope.
I
I haven't seen Tink yet, but Dr. Pope.
Pope and I are supposed to hang out on Thursday.
No kidding.
So yeah, he's got like a business meeting at a fancy hotel in New York, and afterwards he'll have a beer with me.
Oh.
No, I haven't seen Pope since the BlizzCon before last. It's been way too long. You know, he's one of my favoriteest people, and he and I are meant to have a drink on Thursday.
I also haven't seen him since the BlizzCon before last.
Right? And that is like way too long to have him in our lives. He is one of the best people. He really is. Our guildies are pretty phenomenal.
I gotta wait for our guildies to prove how phenomenal they are. All right, here's the deal.
Do you?
I tweeted to Discord asking them, hey, I have this idea for a feature. What do you guys think? And they went, yo, put that on our suggestions page. We were talking in like officer chat and places like that about the best ways to get all of the guildies to see all the events. Because sometimes it really, I mean, we live in 2019 these days. Like people don't really check the forums, check the website all the time when they're trying to find all the new up-to-date information. So what I thought would be cool is if Discord itself had this like really nice robust calendar feature that communities could use to really, pimp their stuff, right? Like get all the community events going. So I put a suggestion in there. I'm going to paste it in the Twitch chat right here. I'm also going to make sure that the podcast Twitter feed posts it as well. I'd like for you guys to go there and upvote it, okay? Because that's how they sort to like what suggestions the people want. So I figure the more attention this can get, maybe we might get ourselves a nice feature that the guild can use to really try to rally some people to some of our events. Because we had a really killer events crew. They put together some great things, but not everyone always knows when things are happening or what's going on. Because, I mean, like I say, people don't really go to forums and websites and things anymore to find their stuff. So I feel like this could be a cool way to improve the guild. So head over there and upvote it. If you want to drop a comment on it, you can do that as well. But I think that's how they find out what they want to do next.
I already did.
Man, you the best. Speaking of you being the best.
did.
What?
No, I did as well. It's fantastic. I love it. Go ahead.
Excellent. Speaking of you being the best. On our last show, we focused on the new raid, right? The Battle of Orgrimmar. We talked about the lore and how the raid is different from all other ones that we've... I was a joke. You're leaning forward like you're going to make an edit. It was a joke. Cool it. How the raid's different from the other ones that we've encountered and all that jazz. Tonight, we're going to dig into some of those bosses. All right? And helping us to do that is our man, Euro. Euro, thanks so much for joining us, man.
It's no problem. I'm happy to be here.
All right. Well, before we dig into the rating stuff, which I know I'm super excited about, how about you tell our guildies just a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Yuromaru. The easiest way to say that is just Euro. I don't object to that. I'm one of those guys that commits the cardinal sin of basically having one character that they play at all times, a fire
That's
mage.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah, I have a problem. So I've been raiding with the Rubber Chicken Coalition for a little over a year now. I started right at the beginning of Antorus. And recently I started raiding with the Hydro Volunteer Fire Department. Having a lot of fun with both of them. Activities I like to do. I like to WoW, obviously. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are taken up by raiding right now. I'm trying to expand my schedule and actually maybe build a schedule for my Twitch stream.
Which is what now?
I do variety games. Yeah, my Twitch stream is twitch.tv/Yuromaru. Yuromaru, if you have problems understanding that language. In addition to that, I do some variety games. Fallout 76, regardless of how unpopular it is right now, that's one of the ones that I'm playing. Ouch. And then I'm a budding beginner miniature painter, 40K style stuff.
Oh wow.
I actually have like, well, bam! I'm a half tyrant.
Oh my gosh.
It's like my best piece of work so far.
It looks like if a
Oh my
Transformer
gosh.
was General Grievous.
I had no idea you were going to show us that. Please show us again.
Well, bam! We'll put it up there again. I wish I had better lighting, but I don't.
I just like maximized like my view of what you're doing. That is so cool.
There are pictures of it on my Twitter page that are actually very good.
If only I followed you on Twitter. I'll tell you, Euro, that you're not just on the Hyjal Volunteer Fire Department. You're also in the Rubber Chicken Coalition.
Yep, both of them.
Yeah. And had I understood how good looking you were, I probably would have been a lot nicer to you from the beginning. And I need everyone to understand that they should go to our YouTube page or our Twitch and understand that Euro is a young strapping guy with a
She straight hated you until she saw the suspenders, man.
She wasn't mean to me. She was just, I think her word earlier was saucy. She was just saucy with me. She wasn't mean.
You know. So, go ahead, Turarts.
I say, let's back it up for a second. I want to know more about your stream. So you stream varieties. Are you regularly streaming, kind of sporadic? When did you start?
So right now, about the only thing that's regular is the raid. I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The Hydro Volunteer Fire Department starts at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and runs to about 11:30 Central Standard Time. And then the Rubber Chicken Coalition is... Oh, I get my times mixed up. It's around the same time. I think they start 30 minutes. We start 30 minutes early, Barf?
It's 9 Eastern. It's 6
9 Eastern.
server.
Okay, so 8 o'clock, same time. Both of them start at the same time. So 8 o'clock every day, Central Standard Time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for raids. I don't have anything solid for schedule on for the variety day, fun day Friday, that kind of stuff. And then the miniature painting. I'm trying to figure out exactly when I want to plan those out, so I'm not burning myself out.
That happens a lot.
I love painting miniatures as well. I do it for D&D. What are you doing it for? What games?
Warhammer 40K is the one that I'm wanting to focus on right now. I do have a few figures that are just scale figures. They're not meant for playing with that I want to work with, but you want to be a little more intimate with those figures. You want to have time with them and really give them the details they deserve, because they're meant to be displayed, not played with. Whereas some of the things I work with on the 40K ones is how to do it quickly and efficiently. So I use a lot of airbrush for the base coats and highlighting and stuff like that, because that gets you to the point where you can play with them, rather than sitting there and painting every single vein or tooth or anything individually. You can kind of cover a lot of your bases quickly and then come back later and put in the details if you want to.
That's interesting, and I don't know a ton about that. As a DM for D&D, I'm just like, put some color on it and just have something to put on the map.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, if you think about like your
Warhammer,
one figure, like if you were to just paint your character for Dungeons and Dragons, it's one character. So you'd want to put a little time in it, like do it as good as you can at your level or whatever. I have Tyranids are what I run in Warhammer 40K, and my starter army list is somewhere around the 100 figure mark. So 100 individual miniatures of various sizes.
Oh, that's nuts.
I made a bad choice. I should have started with more of a like the elite style army where you have like maybe 20 guys that are super strong and have like electrical axes that can chop people in half. No, I was like, throw all the teeth and claws at you can. That's what I want to do. I want to bury you under my bodies. Why are you covering your face? Don't cover your face. There was no ulterior motive to that. It's just like literal war.
I have a very awful mind, but I have a question. I don't raid with you like these two do. They're below me in the guild or in the thing. So I'm going to ask you a question unbiasedly.
Okay.
Is it important to use push to talk in raid? And why is the answer yes?
Uh-oh. She's coming back. She must have DM'd somebody.
It's fine. It's okay.
Ha,
Just click
you're back.
HC.
It's fine. It's fine.
All right. Is it important to use push to talk in raid, and why is it important? Yes or no?
Well, the answer is yes. So why yes?
So that in my case, and I've been making strides to make it to where I don't have to use push to talk. I do still keep toggle mute on my keyboard for this specific reason, but I have a quieter keyboard now, but that was not the case about a month ago. So as we're sitting here talking, you would just hear clackety clack 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 in a place where somebody is supposed to be giving out actual instructions. And like honestly, the which key on your keyboard you're hitting isn't as important as your raid leader saying, "Get out of the things that want to burn you to death."
I have a feeling you guys may have died.
Okay, real talk. I put that question in there because I know you to be someone who are Xavier in the chat room says open mics are the best and Summer Sal loves it because he knows that I don't love it.
Yeah, I believe that might have been one of the things that you got saucy with me on the first time I raided with you, was that I can't remember if it was
totally
mouth
true.
breathing or if it was my keyboard that you could actually hear, but you didn't like it, whatever it was.
I love it. I've never
Um,
raided with Sal, and it sounds like a trip.
Oh,
You
it
know,
is
it's-
my first
it's-
time.
My name's Euro.
It's so great.
It's funny because I'm like, hey, you're using push to talk, right? No, it's fine. And I'm talking to my stream at the same time. And then you'd be
Oh, that
talking to
stuff.
your stream.
That's why I keep the toggle on the keyboard now, because sometimes I want to talk to the stream, but I don't necessarily need to do that with the whole raid. I kind of got that in my mind now. I didn't so much have that whenever I first started
Oh,
streaming.
has that changed?
Yeah, I have toggle on.
Because-
So if somebody says something in my stream, which is rarely, because I only have like 1-2 people every time right now, but hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, but now
So
you're
if I
on the
need to
converted,
address
so-
somebody in the stream, I'll hit my toggle mute, so I'm not talking to the whole raid.
Okay,
It
because
is important.
for a
Have at
while,
least a
you
mute.
You didn't differentiate between you talking to your stream and you talking to the raid team. So you would
Yeah,
be
no.
talking to the stream and talking to us at the
Ruby
same
answer.
time.
But it's because I love everyone equally.
It's a good answer.
Remember
I want to
that
share my
time
words with everyone.
when you were like, "Hey guys, could someone come over to my stream to check to see if they hear me?" And so then like the entire like 20 people the raid team like went to your stream
Is that not
To,
standard
uh,
procedure?
to let you know that your audio was working.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Yeah, basically.
Good.
Guys,
And then
I
someone
don't know.
goes, "Wait a minute."
Shoot, I should do that too.
I'm gonna need like all of y'all to go to my twitch.tv/Yuromaru right now and make sure that it's actually working. And then give me the thumbs up and then just stay there for a little while. Just make sure it doesn't cut off or anything.
Okay, Euro, do you have a brother?
I do. Some might say I have a clone. We're twins, same age. He's 4 minutes older.
Does he tell you that all the time too?
Older brothers
Yes.
in chat right now.
Forever. Yeah.
Yes.
Chung Sil Kid. Or Chong Sil Kid, as some people like to say, but Chung Sil Kid. But he's better looking than me technically because he has a beard. I'm not legally allowed to have a beard.
Why is that?
Sorry, neither am I.
I guess that's something I left out on my intro. I am currently active duty Air Force. I work for the government. I'm a communications, navigations, mission systems journeyman, or craftsman, excuse me. I leveled up recently. That basically means I work with radios and radar, and I am also micro soldering and micro miniature soldering qualified as well. So I can solder circuit boards, clean them, replace individual chips and cards on them.
So what you're telling me is that you do certain things for work, and then you come home, and as a hobby, you do those same things again.
Kind of a lot, yeah.
Cool. All right, I dig it. I dig it.
It's a little different whenever somebody's not telling you to do it, though. You have to do this. I want to do this. Yes.
What if all right, you're at work and your CEO walks in and says, "You get to do this." That's better, right?
See, we've been around the block a few times. Like, it's been a little over 8 years now, so we all know what the voluntold is. By the way, shout out to Kara, raid leader of Rubber Chicken Coalition, for voluntelling me for this, but this was enjoyable. Thank you. But yeah, as Graves says in the chat, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
The way things are presented are very clear cut when it is and is not a trap.
Well, before we get to the reason why you were voluntold, real quick, you sound like a type of guy that loves to tell stories. So share with us your story of how you got into CTR.
Okay. So, like I said, Air Force, there is another member or ex-member alumni of the Rubber Chicken Coalition, Trey Baggage. He had been trying for about 3 years, the whole time that I had been in his shop. He's like, "Hey man, you used to play World of Warcraft. You should start doing that again." Like, man, I don't know. Like, I really spent like way too much time playing that game. There's a reason I stopped when I did. I stopped right as Warlords of Draenor came out. Kept talking to me. He's like, "Hey man, we're about to start that new raid in Taurus, and there's ways to get really quick gear, and you can level up really fast too. I think you should do it." I was like, you know what? Let's see how fast I can do it. So I logged on. I leveled up to 110 in about 3.5 days after work, and then showed up. First time, significantly under geared for Antorus, probably by about 15 item levels if I had to guess. And he's just like, I believe Carl, what was his specific words? He was like, "Hey, I brought this puppy. Can I keep it?" And you said, as long as you feed him and water him and take him out for walks, he can join us. And so we did it in Taurus. They shuffled me a lot of gear. So I gained about 20 item levels in one day. And then right after that, the individual that brought me to the raid got deployed for 6 months, and he still hasn't come back. So now I'm Kara's dog, I guess.
I'm sure everyone is very happy to have you.
Keep it together, breathe. Just
Turarts has a question.
I guess I do have a question, so let's
Turarts,
get
you spell
down.
your name so strangely.
I do spell my name so strangely.
Turarts?
Well, thank you so much for sharing the story of what brought you into CTR.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are so glad that you're here. And I think Sal has been dying to talk because we've been kind of taking over the questions for a bit.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. Okay. We know the first part of the raid. We talked about that. We talked about the raid lore kind of last week. We know the first part of the raid is the Dazar'alor is a little bit different for the Horde and versus the Alliance. But let's discuss just what happens with the good guys, right? The Alliance. So we decided to just to talk about the first 3 bosses this week, because that's kind of how it's going to be for LFR, right? And our show comes out every other week. If we were to do 1 boss a week, it would just take a very, very, very long time. So we thought we would do, 3 bosses.
Yeah, right.
That's a good one.
What we'd like to see you do is maybe break down the first boss, starting with like the lore. What are they about? Why are we fighting them? And then what's the quick and dirty?
All right, I can do that. So we walk into the first boss. This is after the Alliance has launched their 2-prong attack, which is a diversionary / sabotage strategy against the Zandalari capital. And we arrive on the docks. You fight through a little bit of like front lines characters, trash mobs as we call them. And you get to the first boss, which is the Champion of the Light. The Horde equivalent of the Champion of the Light is called Rawani Kanai, who is a Zandalari Paladin. Zandalari Paladins gain their power from the worship of their Loa or the loyalty to their Loa. In this case, Razan. And that's what people are kind of curious about, because whenever Razan died, a lot of Zandalari Paladins actually lost their connection to the light. But there's Rawani and a few outliers that you fight in this first fight that have held their connection to the light. And that's kind of why this is a significant event for them, because we kind of get rid of those guys. But they figure it out, I'm sure. But so there's two significant strategies you can go with this for normal mode. I'll start with the one that's the safe. This is the way you're supposed to. Like if you follow the dungeon journal, this is what you're supposed to do. And then I'll go for the one where if you were raiding like heroic Uldir for multiple weeks and doing some mythic Uldir for a couple weeks, and all your guys have significantly higher gear than normal, that you may want to do it. So the safe strat, the boss has two different seals that they go into. It starts in Seal of Retribution. Not really a big deal to pay attention to, as long as you're not beating the boss up on the second seal. The first seal, hit the boss. That's all you got to do. You'll have two tanks. Tank takes the ads off on one side, and tank takes the boss to the other side. It's one of those typical things. So you'll hit the boss, and it has an energy meter. The whole time you're hitting the boss, she's building energy, and you need to pay attention to the ads over there, because one of them will cast an ability called what's it called? Blinding Faith. The Crusader ad will cast Blinding Faith, and it's the typical, if you're looking in its direction, it's going to blind you, and you're going to walk around like a dunce for a minute or two. And in addition to that, during this phase, and actually during the entire fight, the boss will be sending a wave of light in the direction of a randomly selected ad, which moves super slow on normal mode. All you have to do is make sure you don't get hit by it. It will do some burst damage to you as a character, and it'll put a heal on the ads. Not important to pay attention to that in the first part of the phase, whenever it's in the first seal, the Seal of Retribution. So you'll just let the ads get healed. It's fine. After this, I recommend swapping off of the boss at about 90% power. That gives you time to swap to the ads and get some preliminary damage on before it swaps to the next seal. And do not hit the boss in the second seal, because if you do that, she'll gain stacks of retribution, which just stacks up her damage really quickly. So you'll go over there, one of the ads will get empowered. You need to focus on that ad first, kill it, and then clear out the other two ads. Do not swap back to the boss immediately. Wait until she casts the next seal and swap to the boss then. And then new ads will spawn, and the off-tank picks up those ads. And this is pretty much the same thing, just repeats back and forth until about 30%. 30%, the boss will cast Avenging Wrath, which just gives 30% more damage to the boss. At that point, I recommend lusting so that you can burn through that last 30% quickly. Other than that, it's just typical positioning. Don't get hit by the slow wave that moves across. There's some good diagrams on Wowhead that'll show you exactly where you can position the boss and the ads and yourself to not get in trouble. The second strat is simply lusting at the start, burning down the boss as fast as you can. As soon as she empowers one of the ads, you kill that ad. And as soon as that empowered ad is dead, you swap right back to the boss. You don't even care about how many stacks you're giving her because you burn her down so fast. We did that strategy with the fire department because we're typically overgeared for normal mode. And we did the first strategy with Rubber Chicken Coalition because we wanted it to do it the right way.
So that's right, do it the right way, but the right way kind of seems to be to cheese it and just stand there and pwn the boss.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing the lust to the start strategy. And as you're doing this, the Horde is showing up on the other side of the city trying to get back from Nazmir because you pulled a fast one on them, and they're fighting your equivalent of the Champion of the Light, which is a Dark Iron Dwarf. And there's a bunch of other Dark Iron Dwarves that popped up in mold machines is the way I explain the lore on that. How did you get all the way through the city? Mold machines. That's how we did it. It's kind of like World of Warcraft's equivalent of the gel layer. And then, so that's pretty much it for the first boss. I thought it was a pretty decent fight. Oh, a couple of things to cover on it specifically. There are some stacks. You get stacks of, what is it on the boss? Boss tank gets a debuff called Sacred Blade. Every time you get hit, you get an extra 2% damage dealt to you. It only lasts 10 seconds. So you can kind of run away from the boss in between casts to drop that debuff off. It's pretty easy to deal with. And the other thing is Consecration. The ads will drop this big Consecration on the ground. It doesn't look like a regular Paladin's Consecrate. It has this big hammer and sigil on it. But your whole screen will light up and be on fire and stuff. Get out of it. Because you don't want to die.
So the basic version is take the ads to one side, take the boss to the other, focus the boss until she gets the bad person debuff on them, and then you switch over to the ads and deal with the ads. You don't want to look at the one when he flashes everybody, and you don't want to get hit by the stuff.
Yep.
Cool.
Typical World of Warcraft stuff. Second boss isn't second boss seems a lot harder, but in truth it's pretty easy still. It's pretty introductory, which you can expect for the first 3 bosses of the raid. I find the second fight a lot of fun. For us, being Alliance, we fight the Jade Fire Master second. The Horde is fighting Grong, as he's still alive at this moment.
Monsters.
On the other, spoiler alert, it's fighting Grong on the other side of the pyramid. So we show up as the Jade Fire Masters. Jade Fire Masters for us are a Magheart Orc by the name of Mara Grimfang and a Blood Elf Fire Mage by the name of Anathos Firecaller. The Mara is a monk, so it's a monk and a fire mage for both sides. So the important thing here is do not focus fire the mage, because if you focus fire the mage and get the mage's health below the monk's, monk gets ticked off. If you get the mage lower than 10% lower than the monk goes into I'm gonna kill everybody mode, and you don't want that to happen. That being said, focus the monk, cleave the fire mage. We did it. Rubber Chicken Coalition did this in 1 try. We had 6 people alive at the end ish, but we did it in 1 try, surprisingly. You can focus on the monk. It doesn't matter. They don't have to die at the same time. You can kill the monk super early and then still have half the health left on the mage if you want to. But getting into the meat and potatoes of it, so you keep the monk lower health percentage than the mage the whole time. The monk will do a whirling jade storm where it'll jump away from the raid. You need to go get in melee combat. That's all you have to do. Auto attack, do 1 attack against it, and it'll stop doing that. Otherwise, it'll be doing raid wide damage. Periodically, the mage will teleport to a random player. That's important to note later. It'll teleport to a random player, cast a fire shield on itself, and then start casting Pyroblast. You have to put enough damage into it to get rid of the fire shield, and then interrupt the Pyroblast. The tanks have to do kind of a flip-flop on their taunts between the multi-sided strikes. So the monk will take one of the tanks up in the air, do a multi-sided strike against them. There's a little mini game that goes with that. They'll come down with a debuff. So at that point, you need to swap which one's tanking who. And then the healers need to just focus on dispelling a searing embers debuff, which the mage just casts periodically. And kind of the way this fight works out is there's different energy levels, because these bosses build energy as well. At 30% energy they phase, 60% energy they phase, and at 100% energy they phase. Once they get to 30% energy, that's whenever they spawn a couple of living bombs, and they're shrouded in clouds of chi-ji, so you can't just DPS the bomb from range. You have to jump in there and get in there. What's important in this is what I was saying about the mage earlier. It teleports to a random player. So every single player should be inside of that living bomb. That way you ensure the mage jumps in there with you, and you can damage the mage without having to leave the area of the living bomb. So everybody stacking the living bomb, dodge the laser beam. It does this little windmill thing with a laser beam. Don't get hit by that, but dodge it. After you get rid of the living bombs, it doesn't happen again the whole rest of the fight. It's just 2 bombs, get rid of them, gone. The next big mark is the 60% energy Flash of Hostility. That's whenever the bosses will teleport to one side of the room and cast a bunch of little rings of peace, or rings of hostility as they want to call the boss ability. And then the fire mage will be doing these AoE fire things. Don't stand in it. It hurts. Not a lot, but it hurts. Things that you can do, you can blink past them if you're a mage. I don't think you can jump. Warrior jump doesn't work. It might. What they do say is very effective is lock portals. So you throw down a couple lock portals, you can get your whole raid to the other side in a matter of seconds if you have 2 locks. So once again, bring warlocks to your raid. But you get to the bosses, there'll be a wall of ice there. DPS the ice down. You have plenty of time on normal. There's no real rush to it. Break down the ice, bosses are DPSable again. So you start DPSing them again and interrupting the pyroblast still. The next big one is 100 energy, where both the bosses will transform into a Jade Serpent and a Flaming Phoenix. And this is where you should probably less, because the dragon's going to be dealing a lot of damage with a frontal cone. And the Phoenix is going to be doing a raid-wide AoE over time. So that's your race to the finish right there. Keep focusing the monk. You can kill the monk super early, and then you just have to deal with the raid-wide ticking damage from the mage. Overall, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We did it first try, just by face pulling it, really.
So then the short version on this one is make sure the monk is taking more damage than the mage. When the monk starts to spin to win, anybody walks over and punches him in the face, and that'll interrupt him. When the tank gets brought up into the air, you have to face the direction of the attack, and that's your cue to taunt swap. When they drop the meteors on the ground, run into the smoke and kill the meteors. When the mage has a shield, kill the shield and then interrupt him. At 60%, run through the maze. At 100%, burn phase, healer cooldowns, bloodlust. Right?
Yep.
Cool.
Pretty simple and straightforward. Cool thing about heroic is everybody gets to do the monk mini game towards the end. I can't remember exactly which phase it is, but towards the end, it'll put everybody up in the air and everybody has to play the mini game. So that'll be a lot of fun.
I managed to see it as a resto shaman, and I think that was because we were running out of targets.
Probably. How'd you do? Did you survive?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know how to look at monks.
You know how to look?
I know how to look at monks.
But that's pretty much it for the second boss. Second boss is pretty straightforward also. It like I said, it seems complicated as you're doing it. It'll put a lot of stuff out on the ground. You'll think you have to run all over the place. You really don't. Stay calm. Do what you got to do. Win.
Well, let's move on to boss number 3, Grong.
Oh no.
I know.
Well, he's not Grong anymore. He's Grong the Revenant. Because Grong has died and been brought back by Wamsamdi. Wamsamdi, that's a lot of fun to say. But so Grong is this gigantic gorilla that if you've done the war campaign for us, you know that him and his people, his gorillas have had problems with the Horde and the Zandalari, and he is of high intelligence. The gnomes have developed this device called the Ambigifier that basically does a trade-off. It takes his intelligence and gives him strength and power and size. So he basically becomes King Grong, fights the Horde defeats him, Wamsamdi raises him, he jumps over the pyramid, that's the impressive part, he jumps over the pyramid to the other side where we are, and pops down, there's an undead monkey right there, and we have to kill him, and he's our friend. Put him out of his misery. But this is the boss that Rubber Chicken Coalition came prepared for 2 bosses. 2 bosses. And we got to this boss, and we're like, well, we have like an hour and a half left. What are we going to do? And they're like, anybody know anything? And I'm like, well, I can give the short and sweet. The short and sweet of this is there will be big pools of bad stuff on the ground. Don't stand in the big pools of bad stuff. There are ads that pop up on different sides of the boss. Go kill the ad and interrupt it. Do not let them get a cast off. If they get a cast off, it gives the boss additional rage, and you don't want that. As the ad dies, it'll knock everyone within melee range of them back. And one person has to go and pick up an orb they leave behind. That orb gives them a special ability that you get to zap the boss, and it triggers his tantrum. It's not called Tantrum for the Alliance. It is called... What is it called?
Death bells.
Death knell. Yeah, death knell. Basically it's Tantrum. He slams the ground a bunch of times.
Warcraft's run out of words.
You want to do that?
Death knell is a place in Warcraft.
Is it really?
Yes.
I don't know. But the timing for that is a little bit beyond 50%. Don't do it below 50% because then you're just giving them more time to get rage. Otherwise, you cut because you want to. It's time management, but it's not really important on normal. Just don't let him get above 75% because then he'll get an extra tick of his slam in, and that'll be a little harder to deal with. If you do get over 75%, be sure to communicate that you need to use an extra healing cooldown. Other than that, the biggest part that I didn't explain where we did this was the tank mechanics. Tank mechanics, there's kind of a patchwork style 4-hit combo sort of deal. Let's see. They have to taunt off of each other during the necrotic combo to avoid taking 2 bestial smashes in a row and help split the rending bite debuffs evenly amongst them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a 4-hit combo. They need to swap at the correct times. I'm not 100% sure what specific times they need to swap, but it's typical tank stuff. Swap off whenever you're about to die.
Okay, so kill the ads when they spawn, grab the orb and shock the
Mhm.
boss. Don't stand in the bad stuff. Healer cooldowns on the tantrums, and tanks swap when the debuff gets weird.
Yep. And that was the quick and dirty. That's what we explained with Rubber Chicken Coalition. We one-shotted it, and I don't believe we had a single person go down. So it was pretty.
Can we just talk
awesome.
about how sad it is that we have to do that to Grong?
Yeah, as
Whole
you're starting the
situation's
fight,
Everything about it is super sad. Even the
Yeah.
fact that he walked up and volunteered, and then the Alliance,
I know.
the good guys, were like, yeah, let's do this to this sentient creature.
It's
I
pretty
don't
bad.
think good guys would have done that.
As you walk into the fight, oh my god,
Mechatork?
high engineer Mechatork or high engineer Mechatork.
High engineer Mechatork.
He gives a little spiel of he's fallen in combat. He's our comrade. The only thing we can do for him now is put him out of his misery. It's kind of like, my heart. I rode my boy through the horde, and I killed a bunch of people with him, and now he's not smart anymore, and now he's not smart and dead, which is not fun.
Well, he's not smart because of the Ambigifier.
I know that's
Because
where
of what we did to him.
yeah, I don't like that part.
I think we're going to pay for that. I think we're paying for it now. Like, the Horde has so much that we can say, like, hey, the Horde did this. And we can say, you know what, Sylvanas was bad when she killed all these people and did this thing. Us using Grong with the Ambigifier, I can't
It's
say
questionable
that,
at best.
I think it was wrong.
But that's not the only questionable thing we do. We also send Telemon and a bunch of night elves and other people over there to just die as a diversionary tactic. We're willing to make sacrifices to ensure our victory, which is, I mean, that's relatable in real life. There's countries that have done that before, and we remember them as questionable, morally objectionable decisions that people have made in history.
The only saving grace to all of this is both the army that was led by, what was it? Telemon, and also Grong were both, they did volunteer for this knowing what they were getting into, presumably. That's the only, kind of bright side to this story, is that these weren't people who were, surprise attacked. These were people who signed up because they wanted to make a sacrifice for the good of their people. That being said, we should still be better than that.
Yep. It's the whole noble sacrifice trope, which we're not expected to feel good about it, Even if you put yourself in that situation in real life, you wouldn't be expected to feel good about it, but you're expected to recognize the importance of it and the necessity of that decision. I'm going to step away from the mic for just 30 seconds. Okay, guys?
Totally cool.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's a great explanation of the first 3 bosses. And if you haven't caught on, like Sal said, hopefully in 2 weeks, we're going to do the next 3 bosses. So if you aren't raiding yet or your team's just getting started, hopefully this gives you kind of a good summary, what to expect, what you should be doing. And I love how he kind of did a sneak peek into like normals versus heroics to get you an idea of what's going on. So I'm not saying we're going to do this every raid, but we should. I think it's awesome. Kind of gets people. I'm excited for the pile of gold money boss.
Opulence with the crown.
There you go.
And the
Yes.
jewels.
Yes,
That's
he
going to be a
looks
lot of
shiny.
fun.
And I am totally distracted by shiny things. So
We got into that room, and you're supposed to go left and right to deal with some kind of like phase 1 thing that happens, but they totally let you just walk up to the boss, and I guess all the phase 1 stuff just lands on your face if you do that, I guess. I don't know. I'm looking forward to accidentally finding out.
Yeah.
Euro, we really can't thank you enough for joining us tonight, man.
It's
We've
been a
never
lot of
really
fun.
done boss breakdowns like this before, and you made it really, really easy for us. So thank you so much for that. Before we switch over to Ash, you have anything you want to pimp for us?
First thing you got to pimp is yourself, obviously. So twitch.tv/Yuromaru, that's my streaming channel. Come check me out. I also have a Twitter, at the real Yuromaru. I'm pretty sure it's linked in some way, shape, or form. If you got here, you probably know how to get there. I have Facebook pages. I raid with the Rubber Chicken Coalition and with the Hydro Volunteer Fire Department. That is Kara is the leader of the Rubber Chicken Coalition, and Galvanid is the leader of the Hydro Volunteer Fire Department.
We don't like Galvanid at all.
I
No,
love
Galvanid's
Galvanid.
just
He
bad.
gave me
Yeah,
part of the
Galvanid's
pretzel.
terrible.
He's been on the show several times. We love Galv. Absolutely.
Kara keeps telling me to play the flute.
are you going
Okay,
to?
so here's the deal. The first time you were ever on the Rubber Chickens, we're like, hey, here's my friend Euro, and he should play with us. And then you're like, hey, I have a flute, and I'm gonna play a thing for you. And then you played a thing.
It didn't go quite like that. I mentioned somebody was talking about music. I was like, I made the bad decision of being a dude that picked the flute to play in high school. And somebody was like, man, I bet you won't play it. And of course, the typical response to that is, I'm going to play it.
All right. Well, usually when you're a raid leader, I have you list off what your team is, but we know who's on, these 2 teams. We've had their raid leaders on before, so that's
Mhm.
boring. So
Wait a minute.
what we're
Stop. Euro. Are you not gonna play the flute for us?
Do I have to hold everyone in suspense, or is this something that's needed? I don't have it put together. I can go grab it.
I mean, you
It's,
just
right there.
walked away, and I thought that you went to go get the flute.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
he's gonna
you
get
can
his
literally
flute.
walk
Okay,
over here and
so
grab it.
that's a situation that has to happen now,
I just want
right?
to point out that it has been made clear to me that not only is he wearing a button-up shirt and suspenders, but he's got on like the pants that would go
Y'all
along
are
with it. He's
forcing
not
me
wearing
He
blue
does.
jeans.
Do
He's
these
not faking it.
things.
He's not faking it the
Oh,
way
I
I
noticed.
was when we had our
And
funeral
nobody
show.
was
and I
like,
wore a suit
he
jacket
totally
and a
won't
nice
do
shirt,
that.
but I wore blue
won't.
jeans because I don't care about my appearance.
No, he's legit wearing suspenders. And when he walked away, I thought he was gonna get his flute, and he's putting his flute together now. And I recall the first time I was introduced to you, you played the flute 3 times, and you played the same thing 3 times. And it was
it's my
some kind
go-to.
of Irish something.
That's what it is.
Ooh.
How many? Raise your hand if you've seen Titanic.
are you doing the Irish jig because that's my favorite song?
Yeah, you remember the
I
part
played
where
that
they're
on the
down?
viola.
It's Irish party in 3rd class. It literally describes what's going on. It was an Irish party
Yes.
in 3rd class.
I have that sheet music still. Where is it at? It's right up there.
Is it really?
Here he is.
Something along those lines. I don't get to play it very
Yay.
often anymore. Or I just don't. I guess I could play it anytime I wanted to. I'm just an irresponsible adult.
Your brother is in the chat room going, "Yay, band nerds!"
Yeah,
Oh, the
he played the
chat room-
clarinet. His
Your
instrument is
brother.
arguably more manly and interesting than mine is, but I'm also not the one sweating at the end of a 2-mile march.
Damn.
Snap.
Gonna go there, huh?
Yeah, people will argue that like the tubas
Snap.
and the drummers are the ones that are like the more manly instruments, but the truth is, I've still got energy at the
You
end of
gotta
the
have your
march.
skirt.
I'm not sweating. I don't have to struggle at all.
You gotta
It's
have your
good.
skirt tied on tight to to play the flute.
Absolutely.
It takes a lot of air to play the flute. I played the tuba, by the way, and I was.
It takes a lot of air to play the tuba.
It takes a lot of air to play the tuba, but I was told
There's
by
a
my
hot air
band
joke
director
here. I know there is.
that the flute takes more air. But, you know, my instrument was heavier. Toot.
Did you
toot,
march with tuba or did you march with sousaphone?
Sousaphone.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know which
Okay.
one would. The sousaphone would be easier to march, center of
It-
gravity, right? Okay. But still, it's like
absolutely.
50 pounds of brass strapped to you. It's not fun either.
Right here on my left shoulder, I'll never forget. Never forget. I did in college
You
too.
start living your life like this.
Listen, I still have knots in my back from marching with a tuba when in college. Like I had a.
Wasn't your hump on the other side? What hump?
We are getting rid of Euro right now.
Well,
Barf.
no.
No, wait a minute. Turarts has a thing to
I
say.
do. So we're not going to make you list your raid team because we know everyone who's on that raid team. Like that's old hat. I need to know every boss that you've downed with Hydro Fire Department. On your mark, get set, go.
Hydro Volunteer Fire Department. We have done normal and heroic Uldir, and we've done the first 3 bosses of Mythic Uldir as well. We were working on the 4th, but not everybody showed up the last week, so we didn't get to go out with one last hurrah. Rubber Chicken Coalition, we have downed all of normal Uldir and the first 4 bosses of the 8 in heroic Uldir, which was really good job. If I remember in Antorus, we only did the first 3 bosses on heroic before the end of this expansion. I think is how it was. And now we did the first 3 bosses of the raid already with Rubber Chicken Coalition. Just blowing apart our expectations. We only wanted to do the first 2. We killed the first 3.
That's
No problems
awesome.
whatsoever.
Okay, well, I'm done with you. You can hang up now. I'm joking. No, don't hang up.
Well then.
That's
But
exciting.
yeah, it's a great fun to be here, and I'd be happy to come back anytime to do this with y'all again.
Well, man, thank you so very much for coming out. You managed to get all. Is there anywhere else that we missed? We got the stream, we got the Twitter, in-game Yuromaru. We missed anything?
I don't think so. If I did, send me a message, and I'll give you all the information I can.
Awesome. Thanks
I
again
sing
for
good
coming
too?
out.
Okay, we're gonna get out of here before I have to sing.
Yeah, no, we are going to switch out to Ash.
Wow,
But
do
yeah,
it.
man, stop by again.
No,
sometime.
Turarts is the one that gets to sing
No,
today. I'll
no.
sing, if I come back a second time, I'll sing then.
All right, man.
All right, see ya.
Be good.
Bye.
Now
All
I
right,
gotta
well,
remember how to ring Ash. Okay, here we go.
I think he can just join the call.
Okay, that was way more fun than I thought
That
it
was
was gonna be.
great. I think you're calling him boring. Did you think he's going to be boring?
I didn't call him anything except talkative. Euro is definitely someone important in the chickens, and the reality is that I haven't raided with the chickens in like 2 months because of traveling and moving and all me being in Europe or whatever. But it's really good to put a face with a name, and I'm really glad
You
he
were
played
just
the
really
flute
happy to
for
put
us.
that face to the name.
Euro is a good-looking guy. I didn't know that until tonight. I'm glad I know that now. But you know who's even more good-looking?
Me?
Eshelon.
Not me.
That's good too.
No.
Eshelon.
Before
Eshelon
Ash,
is way better looking.
before Ash steals the show, let me go over guild events super, super quick. It's really short tonight. Basically, y'all made the anniversary amazing. Thank you guys so much. I know I did LFR run and it was a lot of fun. I got to run with Silver and some other people. For the anniversary guild events, out of the past 10 days, my son will only go to school for 3 because of school or because of the cold and snow. So you will get your raffle prizes, I promise. Every year I tell you this, I can only mail out 20 prizes an hour. That's it. That's all I get. So, February 14th, I think I put my deadline as February 1st. Little ambitious. February 14th, everyone who signed up should have their prize for the anniversary raffle. And real fast, I was going to mention this at the beginning, but I didn't. If you are a streamer and you stream Overwatch, hit me up. We talk about how I work with a company called Bottle Spark. Well, Overwatch League is looking to do some sponsorship things for streamers who stream Overwatch. And CTR community, you're all about Blizzard, you're all about WoW, you all watch people who stream. So if you know someone or you are that someone, please let me know because it's Overwatch League. It's exciting. So, hashtag, sorry, I didn't mean to make this an ad. Esh, go ahead and move on with your stuff.
Well, I don't have a flute, and I play no instruments, but I have a spreadsheet filled with raid team names and progression kills. And I've got that for you.
Yay! Let's hear them.
Yeah, so I'm having a malfunction. One moment, please.
Well, while he's doing that, I'll mention real quick, get me your chat room shout outs, guys. We're excited that you're back. I mean, we've had 30s in here all night, which is great. So get us your shout outs. I know there's a ton of you in here, so get them to me while Ash fixes his spreadsheet real quick to read us who's been doing what. Barf, what are your first impressions of Dazar'alor? Have you been in it with Rubber Chicken?
Yeah, it's neat in there. I liked that there was an NPC, I guess it was Matthias Shaw, who said what I was thinking at the time.
What'd he say?
We go walking in the front doors, and then the troll paladin that Euro was talking about comes walking up. And I'm like, man, what's this troll paladin doing? And then Shaw goes, really? A troll paladin? Like, yeah, this is my man. I thought that was funny. It might have been Matthias Shaw. It might have been Captain Azurite? Flynn Fairwind, Pirate Man. Might have been him.
Flynn,
instead.
yes.
Might have been him who said it. I forget who. But somebody was like, we're going to take the thing that Barf thinks and just put it in the game.
Sorry about that, guys. So, spreadsheet no longer jumping around on me like crazy. We've got some raid kills for you. Starting, thought I'd do an upside down raid report today, so we're starting at the top with Rectified, who has killed 7 of 9 on normal and 3 of 9 on heroic, taking out champion, Jadefire Masters, and Grong. Facepool and Keep Going It's Fine are both 2 of 9, killing champion and Jadefire Masters. Then we're going to see, we got Standard Dragon Protocol, who has made it all the way to Mechatorp, now working on Blockade. Epic Eggplant has killed King Rastakhan, along with Project Failsauce and Dark One's Own Luck. King Rastakhan dead on normal difficulty. We've got the Conclave has been defeated by Banana Republic, Salad Senate, Resolve, Hydro Volunteer Fire Department, Threat Level Midnight, and Help to Pay. Those guys are all 5 of 9. And we've got Raid 6, Hump Day Heroes, Bacon and Kegs, TLDR Just Pull, all 4 of 9, having taken out Opulence, keep saying it wrong, the Rubber Chickens, Gluttons for Punishment, Troublemakers, Gruel's Gone Wild, and 9 to Midnight, all 3 of 9, Champion, Jade Fire Masters, and Grong down on normal difficulty. So good job to all those folks. I think, let me get a count. I think we're at like 100, about 100 normal kills that I was able to tally. So without further ado about the mystery that Sal alluded to earlier. There is a problem with the website that is being looked into by website developers and such, and they are trying to fix it. But if you manage a raid team in CTR, you are probably already aware that there is a problem, and team rosters are not getting updated. Essentially, if if you're trying to go in and add players or take players off your team, keep your roster up to date, it's you're not able to get into that function on the website right now. Unfortunately, that is impacting how accurate the raid report is. I will tell you, toward the end of the last raid tier, I saw some of the teams not getting reported their progression, um, and that's unfortunate. As especially as attendance drops off, not enough people on the team are getting the kill for it to register as a progression for the team. And if those rosters aren't trimmed to match what's actually happening as far as the folks that are showing up and killing bosses, then those progression kills won't show. Um, so I do know that it's being looked at and they're trying to figure out how to fix it. But right now, I don't know how much is not getting reported, but my guess is, it's somewhere around 10, 20, 30%. I don't know. But if you want to get your team reported right now, you can message me directly. Otherwise, it is what it is. So, oh, hi, Sal. Love you too.
We're all making hand signals, and Turarts is speaking into the void.
Oh, shoot, she said.
I
She
forgot I
said,
had to
shoot,
do something, so I'm
shoot.
muted.
I'm
Are
a lip reader. She said, shoot.
I did say shoot. Are you? I know you said you're taking a break from raiding. Have you been into Dazar'alor, or are you just kind of stepping back for a bit more?
I have watched it quite a bit
Okay.
because I see it right over here. It's to my left. Okay, so yeah, she's waving at you guys. So I'm over here watching all the wiping and fun progression things, but actually I'm not raiding in there. I am I got a couple of things going on the PlayStation over here, and I've been painting miniatures myself. So
Painting
as
miniatures, you
I
say?
know, I know.
Aw.
Like Nav said, I gave up raiding, and you know, miniatures will be the death of me. So
I love miniatures so much. Hey, Eshelon, thanks so much for keeping up with what you're able to keep up with. I understand that we're having some issues with the website, and uh, you mentioned, or Navox mentioned, or someone there that we could use some help with site administration or website development. It,
I think Nav is right in that it's we need some help, or we need we need to I don't know. He's got help. He's got people looking at it, but like um, there are people with limited time who have critical knowledge of what's going on, um,
right.
as I understand it. So, uh, it's a website. It was worked on for a very long time. Very dedicated, good programmers worked on it, and of course the API with uh, with World of Warcraft, with BattleNet and everything is completely different now. So things broke, things don't work,
Uh, sure.
and to get them working again will take uh, people with the know-how who understand the website to put some time in. So we'll see. I think that like as far as I know, it's being looked at, but there people have limited time available. So we'll keep the raid report going as long as we can. As long as I've got a significant number of names on here, I'm going to keep going, and you guys can keep bringing me on to do that. Hopefully, it'll get straightened out in the next few weeks.
Thanks so much, Echelon.
Mhm.
The thing is, talking about the APIs and think about like the armory, right?
Yeah.
Think about like being able to use your phone to go access your character, and how we used to be able to get use their phone to be able to use the auction house, right? So there's different kinds of websites and the code that enables us to grab what's going on in the armory with what's kind of going on within a guild or within sub guilds. And for CTR specifically, we have all kinds of people and all kinds of raid teams, so we need to be able to connect those folks, like basically from the armory, right, in into raid teams that might not necessarily be in the same sub guild, or maybe they are, but
Yeah,
not.
it's a miracle that, I don't know if miracle is the right word, but it was a massive monumental effort to get it going. I know that it is not a simple thing to get a bunch of databases to talk to the website, to talk to the WoW API, and all kind of and for you to be able to interact with it, to add people, and for those people to be, you know, checked against the roster, and all of those things that the programmers made sure worked cleanly. And once the API started to kind of get different, things just started breaking, and it's at the point, I think, where it just needs some. It needs a lot of TLC, and I don't know how much. I'm not personally a web developer, so I kind of have an idea that it's a lot of work. So
Well, uh, it can be a lot of work, but the thing is, it's not a set it and forget it situation. The API will change, so maybe something that was built in Miss Pandaria is not something that's still relevant and still works in this expansion. So we still need folks with time and the knowledge to help us out with these kinds of initiatives. So that's that's what's going on. I didn't mean to. I see Barf going, oh,
No.
like
Well, I just touched the side of my noodle because you guys talking about needing to recruit people to work on the website reminded me that I was supposed to earlier talk about how I'm recruiting to hire more officers for the welcoming committee. I totally spaced
wow.
on that because I'm a dummy. I did announce once in Discord and a couple of times in guild chat, and I think once on Twitter. I don't remember, but I am looking at trying to bring on another couple of greeters. Probably should have announced that at the top of the show before people figured, okay, now we're starting to get toward the end credits, so I'm going to switch to lagging balls.
And that's totally what happens, though. Anything you want to be known,
oh yeah,
should be in the first 20 minutes, because after that,
I know.
yeah.
So, just as a point of clarity, I will draw a distinction between the website, which is a very complex, organism out there, and the other commons tool that kind of grabs roster data from the teams and compares that to the armory for kills. That tool, that website tool, is still working well. It's just a matter of whether or not the rosters in the website are accurate is the issue.
Yeah.
We just, like you said, if we can, find the right people who already have the know-how, or the people who could potentially bring the know-how, then maybe it's a matter of just getting that straightened out, so that the team managers can manage their rosters.
All right.
Thanks so much, Esh. I really appreciate your efforts towards this.
You're a crucial part of the converted.
Hey, I just like doing it, and I like to have everybody's name up there. I know that if anyone's made a new team, I'm not reporting them, because you haven't been able to create a roster, quite
Right.
honestly, and you may have made a team, but I have not seen new teams show up because no one can create a new roster right now. So I want to see new team names show up. That's sort of a thing that I've gotten used to, doing this over the last year or so. That new teams pop up, and that's great. And I can see several teams on the list here that weren't there when I started doing the raid report, and
Right.
and they're doing great. They're killing heroic bosses. Keep going. It's fine. It's one of the newest teams on the list, but I know there are newer teams that aren't on the list. It's kind of want to see that, but we gotta be patient until things are straightened up.
Well, I think it is time for shoutouts, and we have some Twitter shoutouts this year. So while Esh conjures up a hot Twitter mana bun, throw me some Twitter or some chat room shoutouts, and I will read them after he's done with his mana buns.
Buns.
I don't know where you get this stuff, but
Because you're engaged.
right. So Graves does a shout out to the Rubber Chicken Coalition for a great first night in Battle of Razzle Dazzle last week, and he thanks your guest tonight, the real Yuromaru. Did anybody else hear Mario all night? I heard Mario all night. I don't know why. For jumping in and explaining the Grong fight like a boss for a one shot. So that's great shout out. Kel has a shout out to Kyafin and Xandra for being amazingly friendly and helpful greeters. Also to Razor70, which is Winchester, and Drethen KT for being caring friends. That's Kel's shout out. And Winchester shouts out to all the RCC's teammates for the fun last week in the new raid. Took down 3 bosses. Big shout out to Kel for being awesome. Friends and prayers for her mom that she will heal soon.
All right.
That is my mana bun for you tonight.
Mana buns.
Buns.
Let's get to the chat room shoutouts. Exclavier shout out to Lonnie. I was running around Borealis and waved at her, and she graciously traded a gym to me the other day. Aw. Zandara shout out to everyone getting wrecked by the cold weather. Stay warm. Yes, if you are in that coldness that actually goes all the way down to like Texas, just stay warm. Drive safe. Be smart. Draven says, shout out to T for being super patient this past Friday. Hope it was worth the intro. It was. I'm excited to get into our D&D backstory because mine's legendary. We'll get it. But yes, and then Sal had a shout out, but I'm not going to read it, so we'll move on.
Well, what are your shout outs, guys?
I'm going to shout out the guild. We reached year 6, y'all. That is amazing. We are still going strong. I mean, the raid teams that we listed that knocked it out of the park the first week of raid is just awesome. So shout out for that. Shout out to the anniversary, my event planners that hosted events. You all are awesome. And shout out to these 3 for this podcast. It's great. It's my looking forward to my Mondays.
I want to shout out to everyone who has listened to our guild podcast throughout the years. We've been going on just as long as the guild has, and I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening.
I would like to shout out to Sora, Donald, and Goofy. You guys know why. Ash, do you have anything?
Sure. Shout out to Mother Nature and all the wonderful, beautiful white stuff she's going to bring us tomorrow. And shout out to Hallister Blackcloak. May he ever reign supreme in the dungeon underneath Waterdeep. Going to hopefully kill all of my players with that magnificent wizard at the bottom of that dungeon.
I can hear Lonnie is excited about this.
Oh yeah, she's super excited about getting wasted by an all-powerful, all-knowing wizard.
When does the converted campaign kick off?
Ooh.
What?
Mm,
Right now.
let me go get my shark full of dice. That's going to wrap us up tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Navox and Geek Chic Lisa for our theme music. You can find us on Twitter at converted_CTR. Turarts is at Turarts. Sal is at summer_Sal. Esh is at Eshelon. And I am at a bonus level. When's the next episode?
Our next episode is February 11th. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue with this like the raid talk, and we're going to talk about the next 3 bosses, because that's kind of how LFR works. 3 and 3 and 3. So on February 11th, we're going to do a breakdown of the second round of bosses for Dazar'alor.
That's going to be a good time, I think. But for now, we're going to say bye-bye. Turarts?
Bye.
Eshelon?
See you later.
Sal?
I am drunk on the tears of Horde.
We'll see you next time, everybody.
You can follow the show on Twitter at converted_CTR. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Converted Podcast. And find us on our Twitch channel, Converted Podcast. And join us live every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really.
I love that Turarts has the
I do have the sheet music.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm gonna play this in my viola soon. We don't get too many fun lines as the viola, but we got some in this.
Barf has a shark full of dice.
He does.
Yeah, you cut
Okay,
open his belly
so-
and they all pour out like license plates.
Tell me about your D&D game. And you can go ahead and forget to mention why I wasn't invited.
Asked Draven, and it's fun. I came in and saved all their butts because they're a bunch of wimps.
This is partially true.
Parts 2, no, I need to be nice because I'm not in my character. But no, they were leaving a city, and a bunch of people came and attacked. And because I came in the second session, I came in on this meteor of glory and like just attacked all the bad guys. And I guess I rolled pretty well on a lot of stuff.
We were on the second wave of zombies, and she came crashing in like a meteor driven by Sephiroth and destroyed all of the zombies except for one giant thing that we all ganged up on like a boss, and we slain him to death.
And I got the blowing kill on that one. I don't understand a lot of this stuff, but I'm winging it, I hope, pretty well.
You got the what?
Okay,
The killing blow.
Okay.
but you said blowing kill.
Oh, fudge.
Look at Eshelon. Eshelon, he's like red. Okay. Turarts, do you now have dice?
No,
do
I
you
don't.
Have dice?
I don't.
How do you not have? How do you roll if you don't have dice?
There's a thingy that we use that I do /roll D20 or 4D10.
She's using
or I
roll
did
20
10D10.
for the we're using roll 20 for the maps. We're using D&D Beyond for the character sheets, and I'm using real dice. I think a couple of the people in the campaign are using real dice, but if you don't have real
think
dice,
everyone
there's
but
online
me.
ways of doing it.
I think everyone but me is using real dice. No, I want to get some dice, but that'll happen. But it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to see where it's going, and I've committed to my character, and it's totally not the type of person I am, and I'm excited for them to see. Oh my god, I have so much backstory.
So something.
All wasted because your DM's gonna kill you off
No,
as soon as he possibly can. That's what
just-
they do when you have a lot of backstory. They just try to kill you.
I just posted. I just like put something in our chat room, and it was modded out. And I was just like quoting what Turarts said. So,
not podcast appropriate.
I also added a few mods. We had a few trolls tonight. Oh my god.
We did.
I feel so good about myself.
We're official.
We had trolls. That doesn't happen very often to us at all. We had a couple of trolls. One person, they're probably the same person, said something bad. I don't even know what it was said because it was mudded out so quickly.
Yeah, I missed it.
I bet it was Navox that timed them out. They wasn't just
I think it
deleted, but they were
was.
timed out. I assume it was Navox because Navox got modded also. Oh my OMG.
I feel like I already had a
Um,
sword. I thought I did. I saw my name come up and they were like mod / something. And I was like, no, I already have a sword. Because I posted that link earlier. You can't post links without the... Oh, geez. Someone gave one to Draven.
Yeah.
How come all
They was like, what are they saying?
Listen, we shouldn't give the entire chat swords because some of the people in the chat were the trolls.
I only gave swords to people that I know.
Oh, all right.
So in other words, if they don't have a sword, you don't know who they are. Sorry, Graves.
I didn't give it to Graves. Just because I didn't type their name. Ash, I was only trolling Sal on her crush on your. Okay, listen.
Drunk sorting.
I didn't give it to Bunt. I mean, I gave it to Frasley. Yeah, I gave it to like 4 people tonight. Okay, but the person who got rid of the troll was Navox.
There was this
please
great
tell me.
meme that I
I
wish
can
I could
tell
have
you.
paid
I
more
can
attention
tell you
to.
this for sure.
Everyone's been saying
The person
goosh.
who got rid of the. Sorry.
Everyone's been saying goosh.
What's the goosh?
I don't know.
thing?
It was this great meme that was happening. Every once in a while, I'd look over and someone was yelling goosh again. Chat had a meme, and I'm like too busy with the show to pay attention to what's going on, but everyone's been saying goosh all night.
It's because Navox accidentally said it earlier. He meant to say gosh, but he typed one too many O's, and now everyone's been saying goosh.
Okay,
Oh my
I
gosh.
gave Draven a sword like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's had a sword
is
for a
the
while.
thing. Yeah, but Draven's never used it. Here's the deal.
I've never
gave
used it either.
Tink a sword once, and the same day I gave Tink a sword, he dropped an F-bomb in chat.
He did.
I remember that.
Tink doesn't have a sword anymore.
Well,
Okay, Navox, I see that you're there. I want you to confirm that you're the one that timed out the
Yeah.
troll.
yeah.
It's,
He was.
It's,
I saw it.
like-
It said Navox timed out.
oh, I didn't see the word Navox on that.
Yeah, it says
I thought I
Navox
did.
timed out for 600 seconds. I can't go back up because
No,
it's too far.
I
up.
didn't. No. I timed out the troll. I didn't ban. Okay, yes, you timed out. Good. We've definitely had a long time ago someone who said something inappropriate and who got timed out, but this shouldn't have been banned. Half the things that I type should be not banned. Please keep up. Oh, Exclavier. I gave Exclavier a sword as well. I don't know if I did that tonight or if he's always had it.
You were Oprah Winfrey. You get a sword. You
Listen.
get a sword.
You know what? If you didn't get a sword tonight, you should just know that you were not in my direct line of sight at the time that I was giving out swords. And I got auto-modded. Listen, Navox, I got auto-modded as well because I said something about blowing something. It was
I
something
said, blowing
that Turarts said. Exclavier, you've always had a sword because you and I have kissed before. So I gave you a sword like 3 years ago, and you've just always had it.
This was a
Apparently,
fun
all you have to
episode.
do to get a mod status and converted podcast is just kiss Sal.
Yeah.
Or be
Sounds
in her
like
direct
Satan
line of
coming in.
sight. Jump up and down, wave your arm.
I gave it to Frasley because he was in my direct line of sight. Has never kissed Sal. Draven has no. I gave Draven a long time ago. I gave Frasley it tonight. I gave Frasley a sword tonight because he was in the That is where I met Exclavier like 5 years ago. That's true. That's true. I survived Dunlock's house party because of Exclavier. And Dunlock had a sex dungeon in his house, and Exclavier saved me from it.
Oh, I heard this story before. Okay. Sorry, I heard the word
And-
sex.
And the thing is, I'm not exaggerating at all, or like making anything up. At all. I mean, maybe the dungeon is an exaggeration. But Exclavier was there.
Who doesn't have a basement sex dungeon though?
Exclavier was there to get me out of an
Limited to a
uncomfortable
basement.
situation. I will say, that was the weirdest. That was the weirdest. That was the weirdest thing. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't have a sword next to your name, like Habant and Graves, all you need to do is ask a friend of yours to troll our chat, and then make sure you're in my direct line of sight after they get modded. That's all I can say. Now, I can't give it. What I have to do is like sign into the converted Twitch to be able to do that. So I'm not like actually signed into converted Twitch right now. I was a few minutes ago. Abont, I'm going for the kissing method. I don't. I've never. Okay. Cool. When I meet Habant, I'll ask Kara first, if that's okay. Barf, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm hanging out in my dungeon that everybody has. It is totally normal. I found some pictures and I put them in frames, and they're in the not those stairs but the other stairs, so that some of my walls don't look as blank as they've been looking. One day it'll look like I live here instead of just in this room. Like I'll look like I live in the other rooms too. Looking forward to that. It'll be a fun day.
Oh, so does your entire house not look like you live in it?
No. This is very concentrated. The entire rest of the house looks like a normal person's house. Except that the paint at the top of my bedroom walls stops like 1.5 inches short, because the original plan was to put a trim up there, and then that never happened. So I'm probably going to tape and paint like a stripe so it looks nice. So it doesn't look so it looks finished. But that's probably not going to happen anytime soon either. And then I have a spare bedroom that's almost empty, except for all the stuff that's been pulled out of the closet and left on the floor. I need new kitchen counters.
You recently got new kitchen floors.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
I mean, that's how long I've known you.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was a time when your parents surprised you with floors.
That was a gift of one flavor or another. I think that was I think that was my birthday and Christmas gift that year.
Like your parents surprised you with flooring?
Well, like I didn't wake up to find construction folk in my house, but they were like, "Yeah, that's going to be your gift this year. We're going to bring somebody in, and these are your options." And like we looked at things. Kara says that that's her spare closet bedroom. No, that's the other spare bedroom. The house has it's got a master and 2 other bedrooms. One of them is a half a bedroom. It's like a large closet, really. And the actual bedroom-sized bedroom is going to be an office. But that room is the room that doesn't have it. It has one piece of furniture and a closet. You know how like when you need to clean your room, but you need to do it on the quickie quick, and you just shove everything into the bottom of the closet? Yeah. It's that if you open the closet door and pull everything back out again in a straight line and just leave it all sitting on the floor.
All right.
And there's a blanket in there because sometimes when my mother's dog comes over, she likes to lay in that room.
I thought
So
you were
she
going to
lays
say
on the
mother.
blanket.
I really thought you were going to say mother.
Nope. When my mom's dog Roxanne comes over, she likes to lay in that room. It's her favorite.
Okay, so I have a apartment, right? And the
You gonna do
coolest
an
part of
MTV
Brooklyn.
Cribs where you like walk in the front door and here's the kitchen and here's the.
My situation is a lot smaller than yours, Barf, but it is.
You should still do it. MTV Cribs.
I have a roommate, but she's not usually here. She's the one that owns this apartment. And she's like I'm here to help with the mortgage or whatever, but that's her bedroom there, and she'll be here like a few days a month, and she's got kids, and she's got another house upstate. So basically, for the most part, I'm here by myself.
Oh,
Rad.
wow. That is awesome.
Yes, I mean my roommate's cool. She's the one that's got the drow elf painting situation.
I still looks like I still think it looks like from this angle at this distance, it looks like it is a. Okay, that totally looks like a drow elf.
There we go.
Okay, so the bottom
changed
of the
it.
skull necklace, I thought was the head of the creature, and the whole rest of the body just looked like a blue smoky mess that ended in a Skeletor head. That's elvish. That's totally. I didn't get it at first.
Yeah. I would like to change it so that it looks better on stream, but the reality is,
Yeah, this
it's
angle
not
is
behind my head.
not. You know, it's not good framing. Are you permitted a pet, or are you limited to like a cactus?
I'm limited to cactus,
Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with cactus.
but I'd rather not water either one.
You don't have to water
So,
cactus very often. I forgot
yeah,
to
but-
for a year and it was still alive.
But a pet one would need to. This building is
You do need to water your
dogs.
pets. That's true.
Is no dogs for this building, and my roommate, aka the owner of this apartment, she owns the apartment. She's deathly allergic to cats.
Oh.
So
you could get a
she's
beta
the
fish.
opposite of Eshelon. Here's the deal. A beta fish does not bring joy to anybody.
I love them. I had a whole series of Bubba Fluff. I was up to like Bubba Fluff the 5th. Oh man.
Eshelon just over there playing with his D&D books and going, huh? What? Huh? What? We're talking about you, Esh.
I am gonna have to bounce soon because I have to wake
What?
up tomorrow and go out in the cold because travel
I was
not
just-
advised.
I was just, knocking things off my to-do list. I needed to print, the map of level 1, so that I don't have to flip back and forth from map to room notes, map to room, you know what I mean?
No.
I do know what you mean, and I need to schedule the next thing with my team. Thing is, the last time we did a thing, one of our team members invited a friend who's just gonna roll a new character and just like be with the crew in the middle of a dungeon.
I mean, hey, sometimes people just, there are other people down there doing stuff. You're not the only ones in.
You should have made him
Yeah.
like the pet.
I'm picturing this crew that's just been together through thick and thin, man. They're just covered from head to toe in the gore of their last battle. They're like hobbling through the dungeon, and here comes this person who's like perfectly clean, bright sunshine. Hey guys, my name is Steve, and I'm here to help. And it's just like a complete.
That guy dies. No, that guy is dead. Okay, if a guy did that, that's the one you kill. Okay, that guy is there to deceive you and control you and destroy your entire campaign. You kill that guy as soon as you see him. I'm
This person
Steve, and I'm
started
here
a
to help.
dance
No.
party.
A
This
dance
person
party.
started a dance party, and I'm not kidding. But the first thing she wanted to do was to kill the NPC that was clearly not there to kill.
The helper?
And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow you to attack that NPC. And she goes, but you said I could do whatever I want. It's D&D. And I said, this campaign has had people who have spent hours and hours trying to do a thing, and I'm not going to let you like ruin something by attacking this helpless NPC.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why this person dies. That's why you have to kill them. They come in, they think they can do anything they want to. They want to attack the NPC. Okay, well, I'm just going to kill you then.
Okay,
Sorry.
Eshelon, you're doing the Sunless Citadel with your kids, right?
They finished that one, but
Oh shit. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So basically, this person wanted to kill Meepo.
oh no, that's not good.
No, that's
Yeah,
not good.
if somebody
right?
tried to kill Meepo, like all 3 of my daughters would kill that person who's trying to kill Meepo. All 3 of my
Okay.
You
daughters.
got some ruthless
With-
ass daughters.
And Lonnie's character in that dungeon, okay, that character hit level 3 in the Sunless Citadel, became a
you
vengeance
serious?
paladin. Yes, became a vengeance paladin for Meepo, because Meepo was killed. I don't want too many spoilers, but there's a baby dragon and all kind of Meepo died. Okay, Meepo's dead in our campaign, but Lonnie Dressa, whatever her character name is, Lonnie Dressa is a vengeance paladin for Meepo. Okay, Meepo. Anybody
Is that an oath?
crosses
Like she pulls her
Meepo.
sword and she's got
Yes,
it here and she's
her
like,
oath is
"For Meepo."
vengeance for Meepo.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Damn right.
Meepo can die later on, but not when you walk into the room and you see
Or helpless crying.
a hopeless crying, like you don't just walk in and decapitate them, like you ask what's wrong, and this anyway, that's a situation that I was in, and I didn't allow it to,
all 3 of my kids would kill that person. You
Um,
cannot attack Meepo.
and that's why you can't have people who just like jump in to a situation and jump out, because they don't care. They're not invested. They're not invested.
That's right. I agree.
So, I understand that Turarts has early morning that she has to do.
Bye. Bye, T.
Hey guys, I want a little bit of a credit for being on point, having scheduled the podcast, done the show notes, and being drunk AF during the
even
show.
tell.
Turarts, you are muted or something.
We couldn't
I had
tell
to
until
fart.
you started handing the swords out. That was when we knew that you were
Really
drunk
good.
AF. Yeah.
I am not sober, but I did start handing out a lot of swords. I did do that. But thanks to Navox shagging pad, I don't. Okay, you know what? The chat room has a life of its own, and that's
It
the
does.
best.
I
It
love
does.
it when
I'm
chat
gonna-
has a light of its own.
I'm going to say goodnight. This was fun. Our guest was great. Y'all were great.
He was way hotter than I thought he would be.
Well, I have
I
been trying to lose a
didn't-
few
I
pounds.
did not want to follow.
Didn't
Just
you?
honestly, I did not want to come on after such a hotness was here in this space.
I didn't
And
understand that Euro was
I just bring
hot.
disappointment at that
Should have
point.
watched his stream. All the
That's
rest
what
of
I
us
say.
knew.
Didn't you in his stream?
I never watched Euro's stream, kind of on purpose, because I was
start.
so mad at him for never using push to talk.
Spoilers.
during raid.
I remember you bitching about this at one point. We were doing a post show or a post show or something, and you and Barf were talking about
Oh,
this.
we're still alive, man. He
We
might
are.
be listening.
But she was bitching about the push to talk on the show, so it's okay. It's not like I'm giving away anything. But I remember being like, and he just won't. He's good, but he needs to push to talk. He needs to. And then when that question was asked, I was like, oh, this is the guy that Sal was gonna kill for not push to talking.
I'm just saying, he was streaming and raiding with us and talking to the raid at the same time, and he made no distinguish. He didn't distinguish between the two audiences. So he would be talking to his stream, and I would be thinking that he's talking to us. And he would say, "So hey guys, I did," and like, what does it have to do with his boss? Yeah. So if he had used push to talk for the raid, there'd be no
It's important
confusion.
to me that everyone who's listening still, who's in Rubber Chickens, turn off your push to talk the night that Sal comes back. Make sure everyone's on voice comms.
I will be there
voice
tomorrow night.
active. Tomorrow night, voice active. Everybody.
So we've got in Facebook. There's a handful, maybe 3 or 4 people maybe not every night, but frequently they come into chat and they can't talk because we have that feature disabled. You have to push to talk. So if they have open mic,
right.
they come into the raid channel and they're like, "Hey, I can't talk. What's going? Oh no, you can't talk. You got to turn on your push to talk. We're not letting you have open mic." Man, that shit.
This
stuff
right
drives me
here,
crazy.
what I'm doing, must drive you to bananas. Look at the way I do.
It's fine. It's fine on this. This is the environment for it. But when you're raiding and you hear, when you're raiding and you're trying to listen to audio cues and whatever, and all you hear is clickety click click clickety click click.
No,
It's like Santa's reindeer
the
dancing
click-
across
click-
your
click
microphone
doesn't
all day.
Bother me. It's when you're talking to your stream, like, "Hey guys, hey, does someone want to like tell a joke in stream or something?"
Make sure you hang out tomorrow for Mario.
Mario.
That's how I talk to my stream.
No, I'm not talking about that. Sorry, I was talking to my stream guys, not to you. And I'm like, frickin' use push to talk.
Sal, you're
You
going to ham, man.
And Euro is guilty of this.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's also a nice man, and he came on our show.
the fact that he is a nice man and extremely good looking does not change the fact
You're so shallow.
that he played
Oh, I love how blunt she
flute
is.
3 times.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
First time he
I
ever
admire it.
came on the Rubber Chickens, he played the flute 3 times during that raid. "Hey, my name is Euro, and I'm going to take over your raid with the flute," is what happened.
Yeah, he's pretty smart too.
He was
Yeah,
taking
he's
his
a really
cue
good
from
raider.
Majora's Mask. You put on the chicken mask, and you go and you play the flute, and all the little tiny chickens fall in line, and then they turn into big chickens, and then you get a bunny hood. He knows this. I know this. You all know this. You've been around his games old. Everyone's been. Kara knows. She was there.
Do you guys allow mechanical chickens in the raid? I'm just curious. I have a couple of mechanical chickens.
2 or 3 of our
only if
members are
you bring
4/4 robot.
I didn't get it, but it's funny.
God.
Listen, I'm gonna be there tomorrow night in spite of being gone for like 2 months.
Are you gonna be streaming it, Barf?
Yeah, I stream every chicken
I'm gonna have
raid.
to creep. I'm gonna have
Go
to
for
creep it.
Jump in.
Oh, you creep it.
You got a
In
120
my-
jump in? I mean, well, I don't want to speak for Kara. Like, she's the person who decides who comes. But
I am
I'm saying
level
come.
357 with the blue trinket still. I will bring you all down like 6 notches.
We one-shot 2 bosses we've never seen before last
Stop. That's a really low eye level.
Yeah, it's terrible.
357, I'm 375. So what? You're difference of 30 levels?
20.
I am
Ooh, yeah,
higher
you can
than
watch
that,
Euro's stream.
and I
Maybe
barely
he'll wear
even play anymore.
suspenders.
I want to see Euro's brother stream.
He
He's
streams
got
on
a
Facebook
beard.
Live. I creeped him 100%.
You creeped
Oh God,
Euro's
yes.
brother?
Yeah, I followed him on Twitter too.
So on
He streams
Twitch, it's
Facebook
called
Live. He does have a
lurking.
beard. I creeped him. We call it creep. I don't know. I've always called it creeped. I creeped him. And
know,
he
it
has.
just
If
feels like
his
there's an
Twitter
implication
picture is
there.
his girlfriend, she's super pretty. I saw the
Who's
Twitter.
girlfriend?
His brother. I don't know. His Twitter profile picture is him and this girl, and she's super pretty. I was like, oh.
Okay, so they're not married, is what you're saying.
I don't think the brother is. Well, I don't know. I didn't look close enough. Let me
So
see.
there's a chance.
Let's find out.
Hey,
If
what
that
is-
if that boy
Investigations.
if that boy knows how to use push to talk,
Let me see.
Okay, for real. It's just polite.
For real, I'm gonna turn off the stream and then go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, chat.
chat.